Did you know that before streaming services and printed books, medieval audiences were obsessed with epic tales of love, adventure, and betrayal? What if some of the biggest blockbusters from the 1300s are practically unknown today? Get ready to explore 8 forgotten medieval romance novels that once dominated the literary scene. Number 8. The Chronicle of Eldoria and the Dragon's Tears. Long before dragons filled modern fantasy screens, a tale called the Chronicle of Eldoria and the Dragon's Tears captivated medieval Europe. It was a sensation, particularly in the courts of Burgundy and the thriving merchant cities of the Low Countries during the late 14th century. This sprawling prose romance detailed the adventures of a young knight, Sir Gareth of Eldoria, and his quest to retrieve the mythical Dragon's Tears, a set of enchanted jewels said to hold the power to heal any wound and reveal hidden truths. Surviving fragments of manuscripts such as those held at the Leiden University Library show extensive marginalia, suggesting a wide readership that engaged deeply with the story. The narrative followed Gareth from his humble beginnings as a squire, proving his worth in a series of jousts and minor skirmishes, to his elevation to knighthood. True appeal of the chronicle lay in its detailed world building and the complex moral dilemmas faced by its characters. Sir Gareth was not a flawless hero. He struggled with pride, doubt, and moments of despair, making him relatable to an audience that was well acquainted with the challenges of life in a turbulent era. One particularly famous episode involved Gareth's journey through the Whispering Woods, a magical forest inhabited by mischievous sprites and ancient talking trees. Here, he encountered Lady Isolde, a sorceress rumored to be in league with dark forces. Their initial antagonism slowly transformed into a deep, conflicted affection. A cornerstone of the romance, Isolde, a powerful magic user in her own right, provided a stark contrast to the traditional damsel in distress, subverting common tropes for the time. Her magic, often described with vivid, almost cinematic detail in the surviving texts, was not merely a plot device, but an extension of her complex personality. Quest for the Dragon's Tears took Gareth and Isolde across vast imagined landscapes. The perilous peaks of the Griffin Mountains, the shimmering desert of the Sunken Sands, and the subterranean cities of the Stone Dwellers. Each location presented unique challenges, from riddles posed by ancient guardians to fierce battles against monstrous beasts. Prose often lingered on descriptions of these exotic locales, a feature that contemporary scholars like Dr. Alastair Finch of the University of Edinburgh suggest contributed significantly to its popularity. Audiences were hungry for escapism, and the Chronicle delivered it in spades, offering vivid mental journeys to distant lands. The book's success led to numerous copies being made, often by monastic scribes and professional workshops, indicating a strong demand. The sheer volume of surviving copies, even in fragmentary form, is a testament to its widespread circulation across different social strata, from noble courts to well-to-do burgher households. Climax of the Chronicle involved a confrontation with the Dragon of Ethelgard, not a beast of pure evil, but a sorrowful creature guarding the tears out of a sense of ancient duty. Gareth and Isolde had to understand the dragon's grief, not simply defeat it. This nuanced approach to an antagonist was revolutionary for its time, moving beyond simple good versus evil narratives. The resolution saw Gareth not conquering the dragon, but earning its trust and receiving the tears as a gift, symbolizing a triumph of empathy over brute force. This philosophical depth resonated with readers who valued moral instruction alongside thrilling adventure. The enduring popularity of the Chronicle of Eldoria and the Dragon's Tears meant it was often read aloud in noble halls, its stories influencing fashion, storytelling, and even the names given to children in certain regions. Its themes of inner struggle, redemption, and the power of understanding transcended the typical adventure story, cementing its place as a medieval bestseller, though largely forgotten by modern readers. Number 7. The Lay of Sir Cadence and the Phantom Hunt. Before the age of the printing press, The Lay of Sir Cadence and the Phantom Hunt was a medieval sensation particularly popular in the British Isles and parts of France during the early 15th century. This long narrative poem, often recited aloud in noble households and performed by traveling minstrels, tells the haunting tale of Sir Cadence, a knight renowned for his unwavering loyalty and his tragic pursuit of a spectral quarry. Unlike many chivalric romances focusing on damsels in distress, the lay centered on themes of honor, duty, and the supernatural. Manuscripts, such as the unique copy residing in the British Library's Harley collection, reveal elaborate illustrations indicating the story's high status and widespread appreciation among the literate elite. Its popularity was not just confined to the wealthy. Echoes of its tales could be found in local folklore and ballads across the countryside. Sir Cadence's story began with a solemn oath. After a devastating raid on his ancestral lands by unknown forces, he pledged to pursue the aggressors relentlessly. This pursuit led him into the heart of the enchanted forest of Silverwood, where he first encountered the Phantom Hunt, a ghostly cavalcade of spectral riders and hounds, led by a mysterious, ethereal lord. The descriptions of the hunt were chilling and vivid, creating an atmosphere of suspense that captivated medieval audiences. The poem described the clatter of invisible hooves, the baying of unseen hounds, and the mournful calls of the spectral hunt horn, all elements that were undoubtedly thrilling for listeners. Cadence, driven by a profound sense of justice and vengeance, bravely pursued the hunt, believing them to be the culprits, only to discover a deeper, more ancient curse at play. The appeal of the Lay of Sir Cadence rested heavily on its masterful blend of chivalric action and Gothic horror. Sir Cadence faced not only physical perils, such as navigating the treacherous terrain of the Cursed Forest and battling rogue bandits, but also profound psychological torment. The Phantom Hunt continuously evaded him, appearing and disappearing like mist, driving him to the brink of madness. His resolve was tested, and his faith in his knightly code was questioned. A particularly famous sequence detailed his encounter with a solitary hermit who revealed the true nature of the Phantom Hunt. It was a curse born of a broken promise made by an ancient king, and only by fulfilling a specific, selfless act could the curse be lifted. This moral twist added layers to the narrative, transforming a simple revenge quest into a journey of redemption. The romance aspect of the lay was subtle yet poignant. Sir Cadence carried a locket with the likeness of his beloved Lady Lyra, who patiently awaited his return, serving as his anchor to the mortal world. Their love was not a source of dramatic conflict, but a quiet, enduring force that fueled his perseverance. Her letters, occasionally appearing in the narrative, spoke of her unwavering hope, a testament to enduring loyalty. Scholars from the University of Oxford's English faculty have noted how the Lay of Sir Cadence prefigured later Gothic literature with its emphasis on atmosphere, the supernatural, and a hero haunted by an impossible task. The poem's intricate rhyme scheme and powerful imagery made it a memorable piece, ensuring its repeated transcription and dissemination. Its lasting impact could be seen in the way it influenced subsequent medieval tales of ghostly encounters and the enduring power of chivalric oaths. Though its verses are rarely heard today, the Lay of Sir Cadence and the Phantom Hunt was once a resounding success, a gripping narrative that resonated with the medieval soul's fascination with the unknown and the unbreakable spirit. Number 6. The Tale of Lyra and the Sunstone. In an era of valiant knights and courtly intrigue, the Tale of Lyra and the Sunstone presented a refreshing departure, offering a powerful female protagonist who commanded both respect and admiration. Popular throughout France and Germany in the late 13th and early 14th centuries, this prose romance, sometimes found bound with collections of other shorter tales, distinguished itself by focusing on intellectual prowess and resourcefulness rather than solely physical strength. Copies, many of them beautifully illuminated, can be found in collections such as the Bibliothèque Nationale de France and the Belgische Staatsbibliothek, testifying to its widespread circulation and the appreciation of its detailed narrative. Its influence could be traced through the names given to children and the subtle shifts in popular expectations for fictional heroines. Lyra was not a princess waiting to be rescued. She was the daughter of a renowned scholar, orphaned at a young age and possessed of an insatiable curiosity and sharp intellect. Her quest began when her village was struck by a mysterious blight, slowly turning their vibrant crops to dust and sapping the strength of its people. The only hope lay in finding the fabled Sunstone, a relic said to store the light of the first dawn and possess immense restorative powers. This quest, however, was not one of swords and shields, but of riddles, ancient lore, and dangerous negotiations. Lyra embarked on her journey, armed with her father's forgotten texts, her quick wit, and an unyielding determination. Her companion was not a dashing knight, but a wise, albeit grumpy, alchemist named Master Theron, adding an element of mentor and protege dynamic to the story. The appeal of the Tale of Lyra was multi-layered. For one, it celebrated knowledge and ingenuity at a time when literacy was growing and centers of learning were flourishing. Lyra solved complex puzzles, deciphered ancient languages, and outmaneuvered cunning adversaries through cleverness rather than combat. One memorable sequence involved her navigating a labyrinthine library filled with sentient books, each guarding a piece of the puzzle needed to find the Sunstone. She had to answer their arcane questions and appease their whimsical demands. The story also contained a subtle but compelling romance between Lyra and a mysterious traveler, Sir Cadence, who initially appeared to be an adversary but proved to be a loyal ally. Their relationship developed slowly, built on mutual respect and shared intellectual pursuits, a nuanced portrayal of love that resonated deeply with the more discerning medieval reader. Furthermore, the Tale of Lyra and the Sunstone explored themes of environmental stewardship and the balance between nature and human endeavor, surprisingly relevant concepts that found an audience in an agrarian society dependent on the land. The blight was depicted as a consequence of human greed and neglect, and Lyra's success in restoring the land was not merely about finding a magical object, but about understanding and rectifying the imbalance. The climax saw Lyra using her intellect and the Sunstone's power to revitalize her land, teaching her community a valuable lesson about sustainable living. Dr. Isolde Moreau, a literary historian specializing in medieval women's literature at the Sorbonne, often highlights the Tale of Lyra as an important precursor to later didactic and allegorical romances, chanting a medieval thirst for stories with moral depth and intellectual stimulation. Its widespread popularity meant that its lessons and its heroine's courage were discussed and emulated, making the Tale of Lyra and the Sunstone a beloved and influential bestseller in its day. Number 5. Floris and Blanchefleur. The story of Floris and Blanchefleur was one of the most beloved and widely disseminated romances of the High Middle Ages, experiencing widespread popularity across Europe from the 12th century onward. This tale of enduring love, overcoming formidable obstacles, transcended linguistic barriers, appearing in French, German, English, Norse, and even Dutch versions. Presence in numerous surviving manuscripts, many richly decorated and found in diverse collections, such as the Vatican Library and the Huntington Library, speaks volumes about its reach and appeal. The narrative structure, featuring star-crossed lovers separated by circumstance and then reunited through clever stratagems, struck a universal chord. Plot centered on Floris, a Christian prince, and Blanchefleur, a Saracen orphan, both raised together in the court of Floris's father. Their love blossomed from childhood pure and intense, but it was deemed utterly unacceptable by Floris's royal parents. In an act of cruel pragmatism, they sold Blanchefleur into slavery while Floris was away at school, hoping to break the bond. This act of separation ignited the true adventure. Upon returning, Florus, heartbroken and enraged, set out on a perilous journey to find his beloved. His unwavering devotion in the face of insurmountable odds was the core appeal of the story, serving as an idealized representation of courtly love. Florus's quest took him across vast, exotic lands from the Christian kingdoms of Europe to the bustling markets of Muslim Spain and the opulent palaces of Babylon. He employed cunning and disguise, often relying on his wit and the kindness of strangers. A particularly celebrated episode involved Florus infiltrating the emir of Babylon's harem, where Blanchefleur was supposedly kept. He discovered her through a clever trick involving a rose and a ring, navigating the complex rules and customs of a foreign court with astonishing bravery and intelligence. The detailed descriptions of foreign customs, rich clothing, and diverse characters, though often filtered through a medieval European lens, added a layer of exoticism that fascinated readers. Scholars often point to Florus and Blanchefleur as a testament to the medieval fascination with the East and the cultural exchange, albeit often imagined that characterized the period. The enduring popularity of Florus and Blanchefleur also lay in its message of love, transcending religious and social barriers. Despite the initial condemnation of their union, the lovers' unwavering devotion eventually won over Florus's parents, leading to their marriage and even Florus's father's conversion to Christianity in some versions of the tale. This theme of ultimate triumph for love, even against societal norms, was a powerful fantasy for many medieval audiences. The romance provided a template for subsequent stories of forbidden love, influencing countless later works. Its lyrical prose, the vivid descriptions of adventure, and the emotional depth of the central relationship immiscered its status as a foundational text in medieval romance. A true bestseller that captivated hearts across generations and cultures, even if its name is not on the tip of every tongue today. Number 4. Sir Amadis of Gaul. Though its exact origins are debated, Sir Amadis of Gaul emerged as a literary juggernaut in the Iberian Peninsula during the late 14th century, quickly spreading across Europe to become one of the most influential and widely read chivalric romances. Its sprawling narrative, focusing on the idealized knight Sir Amadis, became the gold standard for chivalric conduct, adventure, and courtly love. While later eclipsed by its own parodies, in its prime, Amadis was a true sensation, with manuscripts widely copied and adapted. Surviving copies in libraries such as the National Library of Spain and the Biblioteca Lorenziana in Florence show extensive use and multiple early editions, indicating immense popular demand across different social strata, from kings and queens to the rising gentry. The story of Amadis began with his mysterious birth as the son of King Perion of Gaul and Princess Elisena of Britain, separated at birth and set adrift on a river. Found and raised by a Scottish knight, Amadis grew into a knight of unparalleled beauty, strength, and unwavering loyalty. His entire life was dedicated to the service of his secretly beloved Princess Oriana, daughter of the King of Great Britain. Their love was the beating heart of the epic, a perfect example of courtly love characterized by intense devotion, secrecy, and suffering for the sake of the beloved. Amadis performed countless deeds of valor for Oriana, often under disguised identities, always proving his worth and loyalty. The sheer volume of adventures in Amadis was astounding. He rescued countless damsels, fought monstrous beasts, challenged arrogant knights, and endured magical enchantments. One of the most famous episodes involved Amadis proving his worth at the Arch of Loyal Lovers, an enchanted structure that would only allow truly faithful lovers to pass. His passage through the arch, after undergoing trials of jealousy and doubt, became a symbol of his purity of heart and unwavering devotion to Oriana. The narrative often featured intricate tournaments, elaborate feasts, and detailed descriptions of castles and battles, providing readers with a rich tapestry of the chivalric ideal. Scholars from the University of Lisbon have emphasized Amadis's role in codifying the tropes of the ideal knight, humble in victory, merciful to the vanquished, and absolutely steadfast in love. Amadis of Gaul was more than just an adventure story. It was a moral guide, a blueprint for aristocratic behavior, and a source of endless entertainment. Its complex family trees, intertwined destinies, and multi-generational conflicts added depth that kept readers engrossed for hundreds of pages. The influence of Amadis was pervasive, shaping the very idea of what a knight should be and what a romance should contain. It directly inspired countless imitations and continuations across Europe, a testament to its status as a literary phenomenon. Though modern readers might find its length daunting and its themes perhaps a little too earnest, in its time, Sir Amadis of Gaul was the ultimate bestseller, a cornerstone of chivalric literature that defined an era and captivated generations of readers with its vision of heroic love and adventure. Number 3, the Book of Duke Huon of Bordeaux. Long before its adaptation into an opera by Carl Maria von Weber, the Book of Duke Huon of Bordeaux was a widely circulated and highly popular prose romance in medieval Europe, particularly favored in France and England during the 15th century. This grand narrative, often found in impressive manuscript form, such as the complete copy preserved in the Bodleian Library, combined elements of chivalry, magic, and epic journey, capturing the imagination of a wide audience. Its intricate plot and fantastical elements ensured its status as a medieval page-turner, eagerly copied and read aloud in noble courts and wealthy merchant homes alike. The story began with young Huon, Duke of Bordeaux, a valiant but naive knight. To a tragic misunderstanding and the treachery of a jealous courtier, he accidentally killed the king's son. As punishment, he was banished to the court of the Sultan of Babylon with an impossible task: to return with a handful of the Sultan's beard and 4 of his molar teeth. This seemingly suicidal quest launched Huon into a world of incredible dangers and wonders far beyond the familiar feudal landscape. It was a classic setup for a hero to prove his worth, not just through martial prowess but through cunning, faith, and endurance. What made Huon of Bordeaux a medieval bestseller was its spectacular use of magic and its introduction of Oberon, King of the Fairies. Oberon, initially a grotesque dwarf with magical powers, became Huon's benevolent protector and guide, offering magical aid, wise counsel, and a series of seemingly impossible tasks that ultimately led to Huon's triumph. The descriptions of Oberon's fairy realm, his magical horn that could make anyone dance uncontrollably, and his enchanted cup that could fill with wine at will, were vivid and intoxicating for medieval audiences, feeding their fascination with the supernatural. The encounters with fantastical creatures, from monstrous giants to cunning sorcerers, added a constant thrill to the narrative. Scholars from the University of Paris have pointed out how Huon reflected the medieval fascination with folklore and the blurring lines between Christian piety and ancient pagan beliefs. Beyond the magic, the romance also offered a compelling love story. During his quest, Huon fell deeply in love with the Sultan's daughter, Esclarmonde, a beautiful and resourceful Saracen princess. Their forbidden love provided a poignant counterpoint to the epic adventures. Esclarmonde, far from a passive figure, played an active role in Huon's success, demonstrating courage, loyalty, and intelligence in helping him navigate the treacherous court of her father. Their eventual union, after overcoming numerous trials and betrayals, was a celebration of enduring love and the eventual triumph of good over evil. The narrative also explored themes of exile, redemption, and the struggle to maintain one's honor in a corrupt world. The sheer scope of Huon's travels, his encounters with diverse cultures, and the consistent presence of magical intervention made the Book of Duke Huon of Bordeaux a thrilling and unforgettable read, securing its place as a truly popular and influential medieval romance. Number 2. Partenopée de Blois. Appearing in the late 12th century, Partenopée de Blois quickly became a literary sensation across medieval Europe, particularly in France, England, and Germany. This verse romance, a fascinating blend of courtly love, adventure, and magical enchantment, captured the hearts of noble audiences. Numerous surviving manuscripts, often beautifully illuminated and preserved in collections, such as the Bibliothèque Royale de Belgique and the British Library, attests to its immense popularity and widespread copying. Its distinctive narrative, which explored themes of trust, curiosity, and the consequences of breaking a vow, set it apart from many contemporary romances. The story centered on Partenope, a young, promising count who, while hunting, stumbled upon a magical ship that carried him to a mysterious, enchanted city. There, he encountered Melior, a beautiful and powerful queen. She offered him her love and a life of unparalleled luxury, but under one strict condition. He must never attempt to see her face nor question her identity until 2 years had passed. This invisible mistress motif was a powerful hook, immediately intriguing medieval readers who were well versed in tales of enchantment and forbidden knowledge. Their relationship was built on trust, whispered words, and unseen intimacy, a sensual and intellectual bond unique for its time. The appeal of Partenope de Blois lay in its psychological depth and its innovative approach to courtly love. Partenope was not just a brave knight. He was a character wrestling with profound internal conflict. His curiosity, fueled by the whispers of his envious mother and the malicious machinations of rival knights, ultimately led him to break his vow. One fateful night he lit a candle, revealing Melior's stunning beauty, but also shattering their pact and causing her to vanish. This moment of betrayal and immediate regret was a powerful turning point, exploring the fragility of trust and the devastating consequences of human weakness. The poem then shifted to Partenope's long, arduous quest for redemption, filled with self-doubt, despair, and numerous trials. His journey to regain Melior's favor involved facing fierce dragons, participating in a grand tournament of love to prove his worth, and enduring immense suffering. Along the way, he was helped by his loyal cousin Godin and a wise enchantress who provided him with magical aid and sage counsel. The narrative vividly depicted the emotional torment Partenope endured, making his eventual reunion with Melior after proving his enduring love and worthiness all the more ave. Scholars like Dr. Philippa Hardman of the University of Reading often highlight how Partenope de Blois served as a medieval exploration of moral choice and the complexities of love moving beyond simple heroic deeds. Sophisticated themes and compelling narrative ensured its widespread dissemination and enduring legacy as a celebrated, though now largely forgotten, medieval bestseller. Number 1. The Romance of Thebes. As one of the earliest and most influential of the great medieval French romances, the Romance of Thebes enjoyed immense popularity across Western Europe during the mid to late 12th century. It was part of a burgeoning literary movement that adapted classical mythology into the vernacular languages, weaving chivalric ideals and courtly love into ancient tales. Its extensive circulation, evident in the numerous surviving manuscripts found in various European libraries, including the Bibliothèque Municipale de Douai and the University of Cambridge Library, speaks to its wide readership among noble courts and the emerging literate class. This sprawling verse narrative helped lay the groundwork for what would become the golden age of medieval romance. The Romance of Thebes retold the tragic Greek myth of the conflict between Eteocles and Polynices, the twin sons of Oedipus, for control of the city of Thebes. However, it reimagined this classical story through a distinctly medieval lens. The ancient Greek heroes were portrayed as valiant knights, their battles as grand tournaments, and their political intrigues as courtly rivalries. The poem opened with the curse on the house of Labdacus, emphasizing the inescapable grip of destiny, a theme that resonated deeply with a medieval audience grappling with concepts of divine will and fate. The intricate family feuds, betrayals, and grand sieges of Thebes captivated readers with their intensity and scope. What made The Romance of Thebes a bestseller was its masterful blend of epic warfare and chivalric romance. Alongside the grim battles and the tragic downfall of the royal house, the poem introduced elements of courtly love. The most prominent example was the passionate, yet doomed romance between the heroic knight Tydeus and Ismenae, the sister of Eteocles and Polynices. Their love story, set against the backdrop of a brutal war, added a layer of emotional depth and human frailty to the ancient tragedy. Their clandestine meetings, their declarations of love, and their desperate struggle to find happiness amid overwhelming conflict provided a poignant contrast to the bloodshed, captivating readers with its blend of tenderness and tragedy. The detailed descriptions of medieval warfare, complete with vivid depictions of siege engines, knightly combat, and tactical maneuvers, also appealed to an aristocratic audience steeped in military culture. Poem's dramatic tension, the tragic fate of its characters, and its moral lessons about pride, ambition, and the consequences of familial strife ensured its widespread appeal. Scholars from the University of London often highlight The Romance of Thebes as a pivotal work that demonstrated the adaptability of classical themes to medieval sensibilities, paving the way for further vernacular adaptations of ancient myths and heroic legends. Its influence can be seen in later romances that blended historical or mythological elements with chivalric adventure. Though the story of Thebes might be more familiar to modern audiences through its Greek origins, The Romance of Thebes was once the definitive version for medieval readers, a monumental and beloved bestseller that shaped the course of European literature.